This is Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast where we dig deep into news, job site stories, Ditch Witch culture, and all the other dirt that makes up the industry.
Hey, witches and warlocks. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Moon, a Ditch Witch podcast. I am your host, Sean Hubbard, joined by a longtime friend of mine that predates my time at Ditch Witch, does not predate his time at Ditch Witch, but this is BJ Tucker. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Glad you hopped on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, are you like a podcast pro? Do you do this all the time in your spare time?
Never.
Never?
Never.
That's all right. We'll get through it together. It's going to be awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I did want to give a quick shout out to my guy, Javen Moore, who is I don't know. I'm terrible with titles. What is he? He's a key accounts sales manager guy.
I think that's right.
Something like that. But yeah, Javen, he's always on the lookout for trying to hook me up with some customers to talk to and get some content for our website and to pitch to trade publications and things like that. He hooked me up with a guy named Madison Mason, who's with Vector. And Madison's been really great to work with, and his company actually owns 15 of our brand new W12 Warlock vacuum excavators, and they're doing some really cool work around Seattle. So I've been working with Madison a little bit to try to kind of tell their story and what they do, and it's been really awesome. So be on the lookout for some of that content around Vector, because it's an awesome company, and they've been a great partner for us. So Javen, keep those coming, and Madison, looking forward to working with you in the future. But today we got BJ Tucker, and like I said, I moved to Stillwater, Oklahoma in 2006, and immediately started playing like slow pitch softball and messing around, trying to relive my glory days of when I was an okay athlete. And that's where I met Tuck. Was on the softball field, but do you play anymore?
No, I haven't played in years.
Yeah. So what made you quit?
Kids,
That'll
their
happen.
hobbies, chasing them around.
Yeah.
Growing up, I guess.
Yeah, that'll happen. So I distinctly remember when I decided that this isn't for me anymore, and it was probably 12 years ago, right when I was having our youngest child. But we decided it was far more important to drink beer in the parking lot than it was
absolutely.
to go warm up
That's what
before
it was
the
all
game.
about.
And I think I got stuck in either the center field or left field, and the first batter of the game hit a ball back to the warning track. I ran back there and picked it up and just fired it to second base, and I thought my arm was going to fall off. Like, it just
Hurt a little bit, right?
Pain all the way down.
Yeah.
And I went, I don't think this is for me anymore. So now I just golf. But we're golfing buddies too.
Yeah.
So yeah, dating back, I don't know however long that was ago. Guess coming up on 20 years. We played a lot of golf together. We played a lot of softball together, but over the last several years, that hasn't really happened. And you mentioned kids, and you've got, our kids are similarly aged. You've got Allie, who's your oldest. How old is she?
She just turned 17 in January.
She just turned 17, and she is a softball machine. So
Her and Tinley both. But
yeah.
Allie's the oldest of them.
Talk about them a little bit. Allie and Tinley. My daughter plays softball, but it's nothing like what you guys do. So what's your typical softball season look like with just Allie?
With just Allie, it's probably starting late March, early April. It's 3 weekends a month minimum. We travel anywhere from Kansas City to Colorado. Sometimes we've been to Florida, Georgia, just all over the United States, specifically the East Coast.
Yeah.
North Carolina a couple times. Allie, she's actually been to North Carolina for the Little League Softball Little League Softball World Series with Team Oklahoma back in 2021, I think. That's the first year that Oklahoma's ever had a Little League softball team make it to the World Series, and they won it that year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So she's got some hardware.
She's got some hardware. She won a state championship with Morrison High School as a freshman.
Yeah, that's big time. So, yeah, you got 3 weekends a year starting in March. That probably runs through what, September, October?
November.
November, even better.
Yeah.
And then she rolls right into basketball, so she keeps you busy. You mentioned Tinley. Tinley is 12.
Tinley turned 12 yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tinley. Big 12-year-old.
She decided not only does she want to play travel softball, she plays competitive basketball now as well.
Good.
So our off months in December, January, February are now basketball or weekends with her.
Yeah.
So we actually leave this weekend. We go to Wellington, Kansas.
Okay.
lots of tournaments in Wichita, Oklahoma City, Tulsa.
It just keeps you busy as can be. So do you and your lovely bride, Elizabeth, do you guys divide and conquer, or are you able to?
Every weekend, it's one of us go with Allie, one of us go with Tinley, and of course we got Jackson. He's just along for the concession stands.
Oh, well, that's a little more my speed too. So he's what, 5?
He's 5.
Yeah. Is he a sports guy yet, or you just got him as a cheerleader?
Until now, he's been just kind of the concession stand guy, but he's starting to get in where he's ready for T-ball.
Yeah.
He's been asking for about a month, hey, when does T-ball start?
Yeah. No,
Last year it was, I want to go to T-ball just to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
This year he's ready to play. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So you got a bunch of athletes in the Tucker family, and I think it comes naturally. BJ was a college baseball player, so only fitting that his kids are ate up with bats and balls.
They got a lot more opportunities than I had growing up. We'll say that.
Yeah, that's probably true. Well, I guess that kind of does check out. That's why we don't see each other as often on the golf course. I think you mentioned that you got to play one time.
One time all of last year.
Of
course, we were in Colorado for a softball tournament for 2 weeks, so
you could sneak away for a day.
Took one day out and went and played a little round of golf.
Did it make you feel good how far the ball went?
Yeah, but it was terrible.
You have hit one of the longer drives I can remember. I don't know if you remember this or not. It's at number 15 at the links in Stillwater. There's a creek that runs that's probably, 260 off the tee, so it's a full carry. And the green's another 100 yards past that. And you hit it at that base of that big tree, just green side short right. So you probably hit that ball like 345.
I got all of it.
You did get all of that. So anyways, I did want to talk to you a little bit about Ditch Witch and what you do at the company. I mentioned that our friendship has not spanned your entire tenure at Ditch Witch.
Right.
So when did you start at the company?
So I started in January of 2004. I started in assembly, building engines. I started on the jet track lines, building the 1220 and the 2020 engines. I did that for a year and a half, and then I moved on up towards the end of the line to the final area where we do the testing and set the pressures and make sure everything's right. Last one's to see the unit before it goes to the customers.
Right.
Basically. So.
Does that make you nervous? You're the last one? It's
No,
don't screw anything up here.
It's part of the job. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Just a learning process. The good part about it is you got to know the whole machine, not just, hey, if I'm building engines, I know engines and that's it.
So you've seen the whole thing.
Yep.
Up and down. And that, your dad was a Ditch Witch guy for a long time too, correct?
He was. He just retired at the end or beginning of this year. He was there for 31 years, I think.
Dang.
I think he started in 1994. I think he started in the weld shop and eventually became a supervisor in assembly at nights. And then he moved to days, and then his last few years were across town at Plant 3, the drill pipe.
Oh, yeah.
Downhole tools.
I got
plant,
you. So growing up, was he, you said, when did you say he started out there, 91?
92 or 94. I'm not sure which year it was.
Okay, so without throwing too much, you were just a young man at that time. Mm-hmm. With your dad going out to Ditch Witch, was it something that you wanted to end up doing? Did you consider Ditch Witch as a career because your dad was there? Or is just
No. My plan growing up was, of course, I went to college for 1 year. I made it. I was a little young when I started college, not grown up yet. But I wanted to be a coach and a teacher.
Okay.
That was my plans. Ditch Witch was never in the cards.
Right.
Never even thought about it.
Yeah.
The opportunity came up, and here I am now, 21 years later.
No, it's funny how it works out. But you did say you wanted to be a teacher and a coach. And conversation you and I had recently, you do coach a lot of your own kids, softball and basketball probably. But you recently recently announced that you're taking on a head coaching role at Morrison High School.
Well, I'm going to help coaching.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to help coach the high school slow pitch team.
Yeah.
The opportunity came up. They needed some help, and I volunteered my time just to do what's needed.
See, you're living out your dream anyways.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So you mentioned that you built some of the older machines. You were on the line for 2020s and some of the other drills that we had. But what are you doing now? Are you still in the drill game?
So no, about 5 years ago, I had the opportunity to come up to take over the back line, all the vacuum excavators, something completely new. I knew nothing about vacs when I took over.
Yeah.
Just my whole tenure up to that point had been in the drills. Like I said, started on the small drills, ended up going to the JT8020, then the JT80-100. I helped bring the JT8040 in. I was actually the first supervisor over that line before I moved to the vac line. All my tenure prior to going to the vacs had been in the jet track field.
Yeah.
Vacs, a whole different ballgame.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, you mentioned that I don't know anything about vacs.
Yeah, I didn't. It was a new world. Lots of options. Just however you want to configure something, you pretty much have the capability to mix and match, plug and play what you want with them.
Does that make your job more difficult or more enjoyable or more challenging with all these different configurations that you can have on vacs? I mean, if you're building a AT40, it's an AT40.
Right.
Right. But if you're building a
HX30, 500 guys, I mean, to answer your question, all the above.
okay.
There's so many different options. It keeps me busy trying to line out work. Okay, this model gets this tank with this power pack. It's just, you can mix and match. Like I said, it's a different day, different models, different everything.
How quickly does that process happen? And I know there's a lot of variables that go into how fast we can get machines built, but in a hypothetical perfect world where all components are available at all times, how many vacs can you guys crank out of Perry, Oklahoma?
We have 6 bays. We have 6 bays running every day, all day long. So our plan would be perfect world. We get 1 unit out per bay per day.
Oh, okay.
So, and that could be any model. That could be the HX30s, 50s, 75s. The only exception to that would be our truck vacs and our 1,200-gallon trailer vacs.
Okay.
Those take about 2.5 times longer.
Right.
So we can get a truck vac out about every 2.5, 3 days, and then the 1,200-gallon trailers will be 2 days, almost
Gotcha.
2.5 days.
So how many folks are on the vac? I don't know. Is it a vac line or the vac area? I mean,
I would say it's area. It's not
Okay.
necessarily a line. We're not a progressive line like a lot of places are at Ditch Witch, but I have 45 people under me right now, hoping to add some more. It keeps me busy.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. So how does that work? I mean, like we talked about with drills and some of our other equipment that's not quite as customizable. What does training look like for somebody that's coming in, and how do they know that? How do they know this one's getting a 500-gallon tank versus that one? Like, it's different than the rest of it.
You brought up training. I'll hit on that a little bit.
Okay.
I just recently, probably middle of last year, I think around June, July timeframe, we revamped our training program, and I took over the training program at Ditch Witch for all new assemblers that come into the area. We did this. It's something we had years ago that kind of faded away. We brought it back to set our new employees up for success. That way they know our processes, they know our procedures and why we do everything and how we do them.
Right.
Basically just set them up for when they're free out of our area and they go to where their home's going to be, they know what's expected and they know how to do it. As far as the configuration stuff on the vac line, when we give an order out, we print out the order-specific sheet that goes with it. Basically, it's just a list that has all the options that are going on the vac that they're building. What power pack, what trailer, what subs, reverse flow, suction only. All the options that it gets, they're on that piece of paper.
And everybody knows what all that means. And
Everybody knows what it means.
So people like me that have never had a job in manufacturing, right? I mean, we work at the same place. You probably don't know what I do all day long. I don't know what you guys do all day long. So if you could talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old here, when we're building vacs specifically, is one person responsible for a certain part of that vac, or does that person go with the progression, for lack of a better word, with the vac and just kind of continue the build? How does manufacturing work,
well,
BJ?
The vac line, like I said, it's different than every other line out there. It's not a progressive build. So
Okay.
you've got, if you're building the power packs, I've got 4 different, let's go for the large power packs, which is the 50s and the 75s. I've got 4 separate lift tables, so I have 4 different people working on those at one time. Once they're done, they get moved, and then they get brought in whenever I give out the order to the trailer mount final side. So basically, I have 2 different sides of the vac line. This side supplies basically all the plug-and-play parts, and this side puts them all together.
So yeah, it all comes together, and you end up with a vac.
One thing I say to all the new employees that come in, all of assembly is the same. And what I mean by that, you've got nuts and bolts that you put together, and you've got hoses and fittings that you put together.
Right.
Regardless of where you go, it's all the same. Some's bigger, some smaller.
Yeah. Well, you make it sound simple.
It really is.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, I mean,
you've been doing it for,
if you come from that background, it's really simple.
I got you. And you've been doing it for 21 years. Yeah. So you were, I'm not going to, that sounds bad. You were a very hands-on type of employee out at Ditch Witch. And now as a, what is your official title? Supervisor?
Supervisor, yeah.
So you're not in it right anymore. You're not putting on bolts and stuff like that. Do you miss that, or what is different from your perspective?
I do miss it. I still go down and I get I'm hands-on quite a bit.
Okay.
For several reasons. For one, I miss it and I want to do it.
Right.
And for two, I'm not going to ask my employees to do anything I'm not going to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if they need help, I'm not afraid to hop in and help them at any time they need it.
Kind of explain that a little bit. And we talked about this earlier too, is you're a hands-on guy, you're on the floor, you're building it, and then the next elevated position from that is a line.
That would be the lead person.
Okay,
Yeah.
the lead person.
Their duties is basically to make sure the assemblers or the folks on the floor have the tools that they need to do the job.
Okay.
Whether that's the actual tools themselves, if it's the parts that put it together, just anything they need to get their job done, it's their responsibility to make sure they have it.
Okay, and then the lead person reports up to a supervisor who's over an area more so than just a line, correct?
I remember what we talked about. The lead person is more over a certain line.
Okay.
Then you move up to the supervisor, and they have basically a department.
Okay.
Which could consist of multiple lines.
And that's where you sit. Is there a certain part of the manufacturing process that you like doing, like yourself?
I wouldn't say there's a certain, it's just all rolled together.
It's just all of it?
Well, and that's all I know too. That's what I've done my whole career at Ditch Witch, has been the assembly process, assembly as a whole.
Right. So we talk about our equipment being rugged. It's reliable, thicker steel than a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. So from your perspective, how important is the quality of work that your team does? Like, what does that mean to you as a person and to us as a brand?
That's the most important thing of our job. What we stress to our people is the quality of your equipment is directly affecting our customers' lives.
Right.
Our dealerships' lives. What we provide for them is how they provide for their families. So it all comes together to what we do matters. It's the most important thing that we send out quality equipment to our customers. That way they continue to buy our equipment.
Right.
And that they continue to provide for their families.
Yep. No, that's awesome. And I do think it's wildly important too, because I mean, well, we think we're just kind of building equipment and it's just it's a job, right? For a paycheck for a lot of people. But the equipment that we build,
matters.
It matters. It feeds other families, and there's a lot of people that depend on the quality of it. So I think it's wildly important. But we are kind of bumping up against the clock here a little bit. But I did want to ask you a question as we kind of sign off for today. It's not about golf, sadly, and it's not about softball or youth sports, which we're both kind of consumed by at this point. But this is kind of a random one here. Would you rather spend a year in space or a year at the bottom of the ocean?
I'm gonna go in space.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to drown. That's like my phobia, drowning. I don't.
Well, couldn't you just get like a big vac truck or something and suck the ocean out?
We don't make one that big.
Yeah, that'd be a big one. Yeah, I don't know which one I'd go either. I'd probably go with space. I do have an irrational fear of being trapped underwater.
Yes, that was an easy one for me.
Yeah, we just have Elon come get us if we get stuck.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. Awesome. Well, BJ, I appreciate you hopping on today and letting us get a little peek into your family life and your professional life. It's been a good conversation.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody, thanks for hopping on this week. We will be back as soon as we can to talk to you with another guest. Thank you. See you.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Beyond the Moon. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast on your favorite platform and follow us on social media at Ditch Witch.